it's Writing Wednesday, and you know, a smart Greek guy named Heraclitus said a long time ago that no man can step into the same river twice, which I take to mean that even if I came back and stood in this same brook in beautiful Pippi Park on another day, it would be a completely different experience. Because not only would every molecule of water rushing past my feet be different, but I would be a different person. I think that's true in life, and I think it's true in writing as well. Writers rarely get to step into the same river twice, although I've had an experience recently that's been a bit like that and has made me think about that statement. As a writer, once you've finished a book and published it, that's usually it. It's out in the world, and you don't ever get a chance to revisit it again, and a lot of us don't even like to reread books we've already published. Earlier this year, I got to re-release an old book of mine as an ebook, and I didn't really look back at it at all. I just took it and uploaded it as it was. But then I had a different opportunity with this book called The Man from Lancer Avenue, in which a publisher actually wanted to re-release it as an ebook and also look at the possibility of releasing a condensed version as a print book. So this book and I go way back. It was published in 1991, which means I was probably writing it in 88, 89, and for many years, although it's been out of print for a long time, it was my favorite book that I'd ever written. It's back when I was writing mainly for Christian publishers, and what it is a modern-day retelling of the story of the Gospels, as if Jesus had come to a modern middle American town and everyday modern people had had to encounter him and deal with him and see him do the same kinds of things he does in the Gospels. As I said, the book's been out of print for a lot of years. While it was in print, a number of people really liked it and told me that it was inspiring, but I think it was mostly important to me as something that I really wanted to explore and encounter for myself. And it was an amazing offer when the opportunity came to have it republished as an ebook and possibly in a partial form in print. The jury's still out on that, but I'll be getting you more details later. But you know, I've changed a lot as a writer in 25 years, which is how long it's been since I wrote that book. I've changed as a person too. My views on faith and spirituality have certainly deepened and grown and taken some directions I didn't expect. And I wondered if that would be an issue going back to this book. But one thing that's remained very solid over 25 years is that the faith that I do have is still very Jesus-centered, very focused around the person of Jesus. So it was great to revisit this. As a writer, it was a different experience because you change so much in 25 years that you look back at things you've written and say, oh, that's just cringeworthy. You know, how can I do that? I could have just let the book be uploaded as it was, like I did with Violent Friendship, the one I e-published myself. But because it was so important that this was a story of Jesus coming to the modern world, and the world I'd written about 25 years ago wasn't really modern anymore, I wanted to update it. I mean, today if people were present at the raising of Lazarus, you know they'd all have their phones out and be trying to snap selfies with him, and the video of it would be up on YouTube within 15 minutes. So I wanted to adapt it for the modern world of the 21st century, and in doing that, of course, I got to revisit some of my own choices as a writer as well. So I did get to change some of the things that I was kind of cringing at. Not all. I tried to keep my style pretty much the same and keep the book true to itself, change a few things that I'd never really liked over the years, whether they were writing decisions I'd made or editorial decisions that the original editors had made. It is basically still very much the same book, hopefully refreshed and updated, but it was a really interesting experience, a real stepping into the same river twice kind of experience, to go back and revisit something I'd written that long ago and try to revive it. I hope the results are great. I hope there's something that people are going to enjoy, whether, you know, my more Christian or my more secular readers might both find this interesting. So I'll be letting you know about when this book is available as an ebook and whether the planned print version is going to come out or not. Keep watching this space for further developments. And yeah, last week I talked to you about going back and digging up, you know, some really early writings from childhood. This wasn't quite as eerie as that, but it was kind of an interesting experience to go back and visit my own past as a writer, and maybe it's something that writers should do from time to time. It sure makes you think about how you've changed and how you've grown. Now I think it's time to get out of the river.